In that moment, she could have made different choices. Choices is what.
That's the hammer. Both the state and the victims are united. They don't just want accountability, they want prison time. Do you think that automatically seals Michaela's fate?
Have to make going forward. It's something that the state feels that prison would be appropriate here. The victims feel that prison would be appropriate here. That's what we're asking for.
Judge, I just want to, you see more of these PSIs than I do, but it looks like the juvenile offenders who I think have the more serious role in this. I can't read this correctly, but it looks like one of them had his cases dismissed, maybe placed on probation, and then one was sent to some kind of TYC placement. So I guess if I look at that, Judge, I just argue that there will be some kind of equitable position.
Quick legal breakdown. Deferred adjudication is like probation on steroids. No conviction if she succeeds, but one slip up, and it's straight to prison.
Here by the court to figure out what to do with Michaela. Again, Judge, deferred adjudication on second-degree felony is quite a good thing. I mean, we all know what deferred adjudication is, but sometimes it doesn't mean a do diddly damn in court. Here it makes a big difference because it gives her a chance to prove herself, and it gives the court a long leash to make sure that she's doing well. I don't know what else we could bring the court to show that she's remorseful, doing well at home, doing well on her conditions of bond. So again, we would ask that the court wisely place her on deferred adjudication. Understand that she's done 5 hard months in the Bexar County Jail. I think she spoke about her fear of the jail with Mark Harris in that letter. I think her mom made a good decision, and we're hoping that will sway the court in giving her a chance at a future without being another young black female with a conviction on her.
Here's the court's problem, and what I think people need to look at.
Ouch! That's the line right there. The judge is basically saying, no matter how much you've changed, some crimes cross the line into unforgivable territory.
Sometimes punishment, and all attorneys will tell you, when we're in law school, they tell you about the purposes of sentencing. Sometimes the purpose of sentence is for rehabilitation. Sometimes it's just punishment. Sometimes it's protecting the community. There are a whole host of reasons. But your problem is...
Chilling detail. The victim begged them to stop because a child was inside. Yet, they pressed on. Let me ask you, should that single fact make prison the only option?
Sometimes when you've done something that is considered so horrendous, right? No matter the changes you've made, sometimes it's just a prison offense. There are a lot of people who do things that I'm sure if they could go back in time, they would have changed it. They would have said, I wouldn't have done it. But the boxing of someone in with your vehicle, and I read the PSI report and I read the stipulations. In the stipulations, the driver of the vehicle said, hey, my son is in the car. And that didn't give anybody pause. I would think that there are certain things that should give people pause. For example, if somebody holds somebody at gunpoint and they want to steal their vehicle, they would say, oh my gosh, shucks, I didn't know there was a child in this car. Let me pause. But they gave nobody pause. Everybody just still continued with what they were going to do. That's a problem for the court. So this is where the court...
Isn't the problem that she was, no matter what her role was, it was still going to be something.
Now here's the twist. Michaela says she only kept driving because she was threatened. But notice, it's not in the police report. So the big question, excuse or genuine defense?
That was horrendous because it's a robbery.
Yeah.
So and I'm not trying to argue with the court, but under that circumstance, then no one should be eligible for deferred adjudication.
Well, counsel, as you're aware, there are different types of robbery. And there are some robberies that don't involve a child State?
Your Honor, so right here, one thing I did notice in the letter for the psychiatrist, something that is bothered me, I knew I'd seen it somewhere in here, is that Ms. Johnson, she said she gave them a ride but did not know their intentions, but she played a role in boxing them in. She says that she had never had or handled a gun that night. When the police lit up her car, the boys threatened her if she didn't keep going. One of the boys threatened to shoot her if she stopped. Nowhere is that brought up in the report that she had mentioned that she had said that they had threatened her. So that's just something that is.
And there it is, 6 years. All the arguments, all the pleas for probation, gone. One decision, and Michaela's future takes a sharp turn behind bars.
Well, I don't think it's her feeling, so it's not going to be in a police report.
Right,
But I can tell you that was her feeling on this. She did feel threatened by these two young juvenile offenders. But we're here today to take responsibility and not make excuses. So that's our answer to that, Judge.
All right. Is there anything else before the court makes its ruling?
No, Your Honor.
No, you're not.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to find you guilty, taking consideration 2023 CR 3850, 2023 CR 3849, grand jury number 806632. There's to be restitution of $110 to John Bright in grand jury number 806632. Give you credit for any time served. I'm going to retain jurisdiction. Your attorney will tell you what that means, and I'm going to sentence you to 6 years in the prison. Did you review what it's entitled trial court certification with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. And Mr. Hancock, you can explain to her what that means.
I will, Judge.
All right. All right, this is a PSI, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, court is calling 2023 CR 5231, State of Texas versus Gilbert Puit. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state. Your Honor.
Defense?
Laura Meadows for defendant.
Are you Gilbert Pruitt?
Yes, ma'am.
You entered a plea on December 4th of no contest. According to the plea bargain agreement, the punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 10 years, and the prison in the state is opposing your application. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yeah, I have. Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor. No objection.
All right. State, do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any witnesses?
Yes.
All right, who would you call?
Gilbert Pruitt.
All right, Mr. Pruitt, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Gilbert Pruitt.
All right, defense?
Okay. Mr. Pruitt, you have applied for probation in this case, correct? Yes, sir. Why do you think you'll be a good candidate for probation?
Well, my time here at Bear County this time around, I mean, I'm 42 years old, and it's really getting childish now, you know. I have to grow up and be responsible, and, you know, I'm a granddad now, so I gotta lead by example. I should have done this a long time ago, but, you know, I gotta start somewhere, you know, and since I've been incarcerated, this year here has shown me a lot that I know I can do it, but with help. You know, I've always tried to do it on myself, and obviously it don't turn out right, you know.
Have you, talking about the help, what help do you need, do you believe?
Well, I believe really any kind of help has helped me out, you know.
Have you ever had substance abuse treatment in a facility? Okay. Have you had any mental health?
I was when I was on parole at the Center for Healthcare Services, but that was it. That once I finished parole, I couldn't go back. And I didn't exceed or help after that. I try to do it on my own.
So do you think treatment, both substance abuse and mental health treatment, would help you?
Oh, I believe it. Would.
Would you be an active participant in those treatment programs?
I sure is. Yes, sir.
Now, you have given me quite a few certificates that you've earned at the jail. Can you tell the judge which courses you completed and what you learned in those courses?
Yes, sir. My first certificate would be traumatic stress and resilience 1 and 2. That course there, I graduated that course. It's to all the traumatic events that I've had or people have had, but it's really to like ourselves, you know, because we all have different traumatic experiences.
Mhm.
And I've learned that, you know, it don't hurt to ask for help when you're in a situation. My second certificate that I achieved is, I believe, would be maintenance program.
Mhm.
I graduated that, and I was top of my class, and so now, and it's good to say, you know, since I've graduated that class, that I have Captain Motain, which is a captain in the jail. I'm his trustee there, and I help him in his South Tower area. You know, paint and do the flooring, the tile on the 5th floor, and I help the instructor with the new guys that get nominated to be in that class. I help guide them in learning the tools and everything that's needed. And then I'm in GD class. I graduated art class, and so the teacher there, Miss Bozick, she got it approved to where it was me and some other guy, but the other guy, I don't know where that guy's at now. But the chief approved her to do murals and inspirational quotes
Mhm.
in the jailhouse, and that's up in the air right now until further notice. But I've accomplished a lot, you know, this year that I've been locked up, and it's really rising me up. Like, you know, I know I can do it, but with help, it'll be that much better.
Okay.
Now, if you were to be released on probation at some point, do you have any outlook for a job, for employment?
Yes, sir. Matter of fact, I have my sister Arabella, and she and her husband have a business in remodeling and leveling houses. And there's also I have a flyer that they say once you get out, I can give them a call, and that they'll pay for my schooling and give me like $15 an hour or something like that. And so I really want to go back to school and be a septic engineer, you know, because I mean, it's a dirty job, but
Somebody has to do it. Yeah.
you know, so I'm looking into that, you know, and it can be done, you know. So I know I can do it.
And in fact, your sister is here in the courtroom just before you, right?
Oh, yes, sir. She's in the back with my mother and here.
So to reiterate, please tell the judge why you will be successful in probation.
Well, because I have obviously my family that loves me, you know, and they're tired of this evolving door, you know, and it's heartbreaking, like me as the elder, you know, and I'm the only son, that I've been going through all this turmoil, but I'm glad that I realize it now and catch it, you know, and then with their support, you know, to help me do that much better. And sometimes it's good to have that kind of discipline. from your loved ones. I never used to like, yeah, whatever, you know, back talk my mother and all that. But all along, as I realized, all she was doing was just directing me in the right way. You know.
Okay, pass the witness.
State.
Good morning, Mr. Pruitt. My name is Hank Wilkins. I'm one of the prosecutors here.
Yes, sir.
If I ask anything that you don't understand, just let me know and I'll rephrase it, okay? In 2001, were you placed on probation for aggravated assault against a public servant?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you successful?
I wasn't successful on that because, you know, I was young and I was my young 20s. I believe.
Do you know how long you were on probation before you went into the prison?
No, sir, I don't remember.
But would it be surprising that it was less than a year, less than 6 months? Would that be surprising to you? Okay.
Oh, no.
And it might help Diana if we can. Okay, and so in 2009, did you go to prison for felon in possession of a firearm?
Oh, I sure did, sir.
And let's see, and that was also for possession of a controlled substance, right? And then you did state jail in 2015 for fraudulent use and possession, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can you tell the court, why is this time going to be different? You've had this opportunity on probation before, but that didn't work for you. So why do you think this time is going to be different?
Well, this time it will be different because I'm of age now, and you know I'm not in the streets as like I used to be. You know, that's where I was at. You know, that's where I called home, and you know, my mother didn't raise me in the streets, but I never had that father figure in my life to, you know, I had to figure it out myself. And now that I'm of age, you know, I'm 42, I'm only getting older, and I see a lot of old people just keep coming back and back, and I don't want to be one of those. I have to break this cycle, you know. And so in order to break this cycle, I have to just do what's right. And if I do everything right with help, everything will come out right.
So you got arrested for this offense in March of 2023, right?
Yes, sir.
And stole a car, right?
I didn't steal.